6 goals mark again, but just a point to show for it all.
Yeah, no, I think we've let ourselves down a little bit tonight. It's probably one of the most bizarre games I've been involved in, to be honest. I'm struggling to rationalise it, struggling to sort of put into words sort of, a bizarre sort of game in terms of, we go a goal down after sort of 3 or 4 minutes from our own throw. Obviously, we then get back into the game and show good character. They go down to 10 men, which obviously should give us an advantage. And then, I thought we were on top then for the first half, but we then sort of a free kick gets conceded. I didn't think it was a free kick, but that gets given and it gets put in the back of our net. So we go into 1 at half time. We try to sort of be positive at half time, whereas I'll always try and give an honest opinion. I really wanted to go in and tear strips off people, to be honest, but I thought, well, let's try and actually give them something constructive that we can work at second half. And obviously I wanted us to try and play with a bit of width and get the ball wide to stretch their shape, being 10 men. And then we got the equaliser, and then you're thinking, well, 2-2, fair bit of time to go. I'm not sure when the equaliser was in the second half, maybe after 15 minutes or so. So you're thinking, okay, we're in a good position now. And then obviously we go down to 10 men ourselves with 20 minutes to go, which again changes the dynamic of the game. That obviously we're going to have to deal with that one internally. That's the second time Freddie's been sent off now. We'll certainly be looking at that and dealing with that internally. I'm not going to say too much more on that now.
You lost Hendo too. How is he?
Well, I mean, as I say, it's just you couldn't sort of script it, could you? I mean, I made a change at half time. I thought Christian Navarro looked like he was struggling a bit first half. So I brought Leon, our captain, and then within sort of 20 minutes, he's got to go off, a bad dead leg. We end up then, Godfrey's had to play about 3 different positions. We end up with Dave Pearce at left back, because Freddie, with only Joe Ostler as really the recognised centre half. It was just absolutely sort of bizarre, really. I mean, that's the sort of, I'm not sure that's the right word to sort of use, but that's how I sort of feel at the moment.
All right, let's pick up some positive, because actually Godfrey Plocker in midfield looks very comfortable there, scored a great goal, and Jack Stevens towards the end made some stunning saves.
Well, he did, but you don't really want your keeper having to pull off those types of saves. But Jack sort of got us a point there with that save at the end. And I do, the idea was to try and play Godfrey in midfield, but we can't seem to get a settled sort of back four together with Lee's sort of injury again, and Freddie's now going to be suspended again. I don't know if he'll get extra games for being sent off twice in the first 11 games. It's not, we got. That's very, very disappointing for us. I can't, I'm not going to go into loads and loads of detail here now, or, and start sort of. Heavily criticising people, but it's fair to say that I'm not happy with that, and we've been very, very positive with the players so far this season. We've accepted that we play some good football, and we've tried not to get too down about results, but at the end of the day, that's 6 goals we've scored at home in the last 2 games, and we haven't won either game. I mean, if you said that to someone, they'd probably sort of struggle to believe it. And then we get the 3-2 up, again, and they get 3-3 about 2 minutes later. But the boys sort of the plumber that came on for them on the right, he's a good player. We've got Dave Pearce who's trying to do a job at left back for us. It's not Pearce's fault. It's just, we had to change shape about 3 times. We're trying to jig things around. We're getting people sent off. We're getting people coming on as subs that then have to go off injured. It's just, it's a very sort of a strange sort of game tonight. And I mean, their sort of manager came and said, well, entertaining game anyway, good for the fact, but it's not good really. We lack discipline at times tonight. The first goal again, caught in the first 2 minutes is poor. And it's it makes me more determined to want to work. I mean, I was hoping this week we could be a bit more settled. We get sort of Lee back, but he's got injured again straight away. Justin Bennett, we were hoping was progressing, but unfortunately we've had some really bad news on him today. He looks like he could be out for the season with a possible sort of ruptured ACL, which wasn't picked up. So it's been a very, very trying evening for us, and you know, it's very hard to rationalise a sort of game like that, to be honest. And we certainly haven't helped ourselves. We've shot ourselves in the foot again. And to be honest, I've got to work very, very hard now for the rest of this week to try and look at how we can possibly go and sort of, you know, set ourselves up to play White Hawk on Saturday in the FA Cup. But no, I mean, I'm going to have to pull some players in on Thursday because I'm training and have some sort of chats one-to-one, because we're not going to accept that. We've got to do better than that, you know. That's how I feel at the moment, you know. I've been, as I say, we've been very positive with the lads, but you know, I don't think that's good, sort of good enough what we produced tonight, and we've got to work very, very hard now. I've got to work hard to maybe look if I can mix some players around and maybe look to see if I can sort of, you know, bring a couple in and maybe move a couple on, because what we can't do is just keep accepting the same thing over and over again. And you know, I want to do well for the club, and I think I've got the majority of players want to do well, but you know, if it's not happening, and it's not happening at the moment, we've got to sort of look to sort of change things and look to see what I can do about it. But you know, that's what we've got to do at the moment. So it's I'm very frustrated, very annoyed. Obviously wanted to come on, you know, and just give my opinions, and I'll always try to be as honest as I can, but that does again feel, it just sort of feels an extremely frustrating evening for us, and one that's very hard to sort of, as I say, to put into sort of context, really.
Cheers, Mark. Thanks, Mark.
All right, thank you.